Hello, my lovelies. It's very late. I am going through a bout of insomnia. Um, I think it's because I am back in my house now after the renovations. The renovations have been completed, and so we have moved back in. Um, but there's stuff laying all around, so I'm not. My feng shui is off. My energy flow is off because the beds that I wanted to order from IKEA, they're out of stock. Out of two locations that are near where I live, and those two locations are like hundreds of miles away each. So, and it's due to the pandemic when everybody was first shut down at home and everybody decided to renovate and redecorate and all this other bullshit. So, they found themselves, out of stock with a lot of things, and they're trying to replenish their supplies. But in the meantime, I found beds through another source, but just waiting for them to be delivered. But in the meantime, still having to sleep on a blow up mattress in my own room. But that's fine because I'm in my house. Um, Still have boxes that we need to go through and unpack. Uh, but some of those boxes still going to have to go through and probably get rid of some stuff or give it away. Um, we got rid of a lot of things. I found that just so amazing. 10 years, 11 years living in the same house, and the shit that you accumulate over that amount of time is ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So we got rid of a lot of stuff, but I'm looking at all the boxes in my room, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm not wanting to keep everything in here, so I'm gonna have to go through everything. But I need to clear out a workspace by Friday because I'm going to be going through a workshop over the weekend, not webinar, an online workshop. So I have to clear out a space in there, put one of my desks, my little small desks in there, um, until I can get my art desk. Well, actually, my artist desk, it'll probably be delivered by Friday, so I might be able to, you know, probably won't be able to put it together the um, during the day when I'm in the middle of that online uh, retreat, but probably afterwards I could probably put it together real quick, have it ready by the next day. I don't know. I just wait until Monday Sunday night when everything's over. Um, Sunday night is our party, so I might not get to do it Sunday night. I'm just ranting. I'm just not ranting, but I'm just talking. So I haven't made a video in a while. But anyway, today is September 21st, and it's full moon in Pisces. And so I put out some water, some moon water. We're gonna make some moon water, and charging my crystals. Saged the house. First, I took a purifying bath. Did some meditating, and washed off my crystals and put them out in the full moon. They're in the full moon right now. So I'm standing on the carport right now. So they're over there on a table in the moonlight. Got a couple of nice little photos of the moon. Nothing big and beautiful like you see on the news. You know, those news cameras, they have those big lenses and stuff that can take nice crisp pictures. But I have what is this, LG. Picture quality is okay up front, close up, but from far away, especially if you like your big giant moon in the sky, it's not going to take a very good picture. I don't get it either. I don't get it. But anyway, I'm just talking to be talking. I just wanted to say that I hope everyone is doing okay. We got our COVID vaccines back in March. And as probably some of you have been hearing in the news, there is um, suspicion that the vaccines that people got months ago are going to wear off here shortly. So that's why they're trying to push for that booster, because the booster is supposed to boost the immune system, boost the vaccination that you already have in your system so that you can still continue to um, evade COVID-19 and the variant. But there's still some people catching COVID even after they've been vaccinated. There's still people catching the variant, Delta, even though they've been vaccinated. Some people are still dying from both. Um, it's the numbers have gone down a little bit, but not by much. It's like I'm finding this very hard to understand, to comprehend. And me and the kids, we talk about this all the time. My kids are, I call them my kids. They're my children. They're my kids, but they're 21 and up, so they're aware of what's going on around them. They're very much aware. They've been that way since they were born. And I talk to them about things, and they know about things that are going on in the world. They know politics. They know world issues, things like that. But we talk, and it's like we were talking about how when everyone was on lockdown back in March 2020, and for those few months, how things it was hard because they had to say goodbye to, not say goodbye to friends, but tell their friends that they couldn't see them anymore. Lost touch with some of them. My son, my youngest son, my middle child, he had to move here from a different state because he was going to school in a different state. So he had to move back home. And he didn't have to, but he chose to, which I appreciate. But sorry, thought I had a bug on me. But he chose to come back, which I really appreciate. And I love that he came back because I wanted him here, close by, close to home. But I have all my kids here with me, and we were talking about how things seem to be, people seem to be slowing down. Everything was so quiet during the day. Everyone seemed to be paying attention to what was going on. They were listening. They were becoming more aware. They were waking up. They were realizing, okay, we're in this position. What can we do in the meantime? And they were finding different ways of making money. They were finding different ways of keeping in touch with people. They were just coming out of the old normal and making a new normal out of everyday life. And now that they have lifted those restrictions, people are going back out into the public. Um, it's like, it's to a point now to where they're acting like nothing happened, like there's nothing out there. Um, and that's why people are still dying at the rate that they're dying. Hundreds a day, almost a couple of thousand a day from this thing. It's because people are acting like there's nothing wrong, like just because they got the vaccine or just because the vaccine's available, that it's okay, it's a free-for-all, and we can go back to normal or go back to the old normal. That doesn't exist anymore. There's no way we can go back to the old normal. Um, we still should be wearing our masks. We still should be washing our hands and keeping our distance from people. Um, Even if you don't get the vaccination, okay, that's your business. But just because you don't want to get the vaccine and keep people safe doesn't mean that we want you around us. Okay? It's not, I don't think it's fair to other people to put them at risk just because you want to put yourself at risk, because you want to put your family at risk. Because basically that's what you're doing. Um, so, hang on just a second. Sorry about that. My cat was on the counter. He knows I don't allow that. But anyway. what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. But just that, just because some people think that, they don't want to take the vaccination, and they don't want, they don't know what's in it, and they've heard all this stuff, and, they're scared to take it because they don't think that it's safe. It's a bunch of bullshit. Because what have they been doing all these years, since as long as they can remember? They've been going to the doctor and they've been getting vaccinations for one thing or another. So when they were little kids in elementary school, their parents took them to the doctor or the clinic and got them their polio shot. They got them their MMR shot, measles, mumps, rubella shot. They got them their chickenpox vaccination. They got them their, what was the other ones? There's some other ones that they had out there. But yeah, I mean, you don't know, no one knows what's in those vaccinations, yet we got them. We took our kids to the doctors and made them get their shots at the doctor before they can be registered and enrolled in school, in public school. So what's the difference between that and getting the COVID-19 vaccination? I'd really like to know. Seriously, I can't get anyone to answer that question for me. What is the difference between getting the flu shot every year, or taking your children to the doctor so they can get the vaccination so they can go into school, so they can register and enroll in school? What's the difference between getting those shots versus the COVID-19 vaccination? I'd really like someone to answer that question for me. What it does is it keeps everyone from getting sick. It keeps everyone from passing that shit back and forth. Now, there's still some people getting this thing because this is something else. This is not like polio. This is not like the flu. This is something different. So we have to treat it with respect, because it has no fucking respect for us. It's killed over 600,000 people in America alone. I forget the numbers worldwide because I haven't been tracking it like I was in the beginning. It's been like a couple of months, I think, since I've looked at the numbers, and it's kind of on purpose. I've been trying to stay away from commenting on people's social media posts. I watch the news maybe like 3 or 4 times a week. I don't watch it anymore like I used to. I used to watch it faithfully. First thing in the morning when I get up, I would turn it on while I was getting ready for work. Then during the day, I would tune in live stream or something to like NPR or something. Then when I got home from work, I was watching the news. Then I'd watch a show or something like that. Go back to the news before I go to bed. So it was draining me. It was making me feel depressed. So I stopped watching it so much. And then I would just listen to the highlights and say, okay, do I really want to research that particular thing that happened today? Okay. And so I would research it, pull up video clips or something like that, and then that was it. I still would not watch the news. Even things that are going on locally. I haven't really been watching the local news either. It's kind of on purpose. Because I'm an empath, and it's unsettling. It hurts when things happen and I have no control, but I can feel what families are going through. I can feel what individuals are going through when shit happens. And it's hurtful. It's painful, emotionally painful, and stressful. Stress like that, it causes things to happen with your body physically. So Like, this has nothing to do with the pandemic or anything, but like I said, for when I first started this video, I'm still going through trying to get my house unpacked. I'm standing here on my carport making a video at 1:30 in the morning because I have insomnia. So, yeah, stress, it does things to you. So, insomnia is just one thing. But anyway, I also want to talk to people about relationships. I know you've been, because I'm in the same situation as you, have not been able to date because of the pandemic. I mean, some people are throwing caution to the wind. They're just getting out there anyway. They don't care. Me, I care about my health. Okay, I have things I want to do, places I want to go, people I want to meet, and I want to see my kids. Go on to have their own families and give me some grandchildren. So I'm trying to stay healthy and safe away from this fucking virus. But as far as dating, I haven't been dating anyone exclusive. A couple of the guys that I've met online, out of a few, I've stayed in touch with. There's someone from back home that I met years ago when I was a youngster. I'm back in touch with him. So, I mean, I have acquaintances, I have friends, but I'm not dating anyone exclusively. I'm just not dating right now. I am keeping in touch with, corresponding with. I'll put it that way. I'm not talking to anyone. So, whatever that's supposed to mean. I've always wondered, what is talking? When you say, "Oh yeah, we're talking," I'm talking to them. Me and him, we talk. What is that? I think that's the equivalent to back in the day when you say, "Oh yeah, me and him, we go together, and we're going together. We're going together. Where are you going?" I always used to ask people that. Where are you going? You going with someone? Where are y'all going? I didn't know what that meant. I was like, what is that supposed to mean? Either he's your boyfriend or not. Either she's your girlfriend or not. I mean, I'm too old to be having a boyfriend. He's either my man or he's not. So, I don't have a boyfriend. But yeah, I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a man. I don't have nothing right now. I'm just spending time with myself. I am doing things, getting things accomplished, building my kingdom. I am really not looking for anything right now. And even if I was to meet someone and they just like sweep me off my feet, blow my mind, whatever analogy you want to use, I really don't think I would rush into anything because there's some things that I'm wanting to really do, and I think right now a serious relationship would distract me. It's a distraction because I have put this off for so long, and I put it off because of what I thought was a relationship. It wasn't a relationship on as far as he was concerned. I did not learn that until later. But yeah. So um but I just want y'all to be careful about who you give your time to, who you give your energy to. Take your time in getting to know these people, especially in this day and age now that we have to do this online dating shit even more. Because scam artists are out there and they're out there in full force. They're just throwing everything at us. They're trying their best to get whatever they can out of us, even during a pandemic. They don't care. They have no worries about robbing you blind during a pandemic. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They're gonna try to get what they can get because that's what they do. But I just want y'all to be careful about who you spend time with. Just make sure that you take your time and get to know them ask questions. And I know I've been listening to a few people, like relationship gurus. I look at their forum and their comment section and stuff like that, their live chats. And people, women, especially women, they're afraid to ask questions. They think that it would make them sound pushy or make them sound like they're doing an interview or push the guy away. It's like, so if he can't take the fact that you're asking questions and trying to find out about him, then maybe he's not the one for you. That's just to me, that's a red flag. To me, that says, okay, well, this person is not wanting me to get to know them for one reason or another, so maybe they're not the one. Okay, well, it was really nice meeting you. I had a good time tonight, and you know what? To be honest, I really don't think this is gonna be anything romantic, work out into anything serious. But maybe we can be friends. Maybe we can hang out again sometime. But as far as like romantic wise, I don't think it's gonna happen. That's all you have to say. And if they take it the wrong way, they get offended. So be it. So be it. Whatever. But I mean, if they end up being your friend and y'all know each other, y'all stay in touch, cool. You have to realize that you can't please everybody. The first person you should be thinking about pleasing is yourself. You can only make yourself happy. You can't make everybody happy. That's not your job. You can't even make your kids happy. You can help make them happy, but ultimately, it is not your job to make them happy. It's nobody's job to make anybody happy. So when it comes to relationships, if you're happy with yourself, you can make yourself happy, then you would most likely be more giving towards a relationship, more open to give to this person, and more open to do things for them that you think will please them. But ultimately, their happiness is not your job. It's not for you to make them happy. You can contribute to their happiness. That's all you can do. I think that's another thing that people fail to realize. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. Is that I can only make myself happy. I can't rely on somebody else. Because you're going to get disappointed every time. Every time. Ooh, Max, please don't come over here. You stink. You stink, old man. Go lay down. Go lay down. Ugh. Go lay down. You stinky. It's my dog. He's old and I need to take him to the groomer. But in the meantime, he's stinky. Because he's an outside dog. So, I mean, he's not to the point to where it's just like, oh my God, he's not like, but he stinks. And it's nighttime, and I really don't want him on me. Because then, I mean, I'm going to go in there and take all these clothes off and shower. And so, again, so I've already taken a bath. He's ready to lay down. He's really old. His back legs are bothering him. I would show y'all a picture, but you'll be like, oh, I don't want to make you sad. I mean, he's not dragging himself, but you can tell he's old. And sometimes he has a little problem, like first thing in the morning, getting up. It takes him a minute to, stand up for a second and kind of like, whew, okay, let me shake off this ache in my bones. And then he'll get to moving a little slower, and then he picks up the pace. But yeah, right now it's late, and normally he sleeps about this time. I'm out here making noise, so he look at me like, why are you here? Why are you out here? Okay, I'm supposed to be laying down, and you're in my area. You're messing with my vibe. You're killing my vibe. Oh, you're killing my vibe. He's old. We've had him for 14 years. He was when we first moved in this house, it was like about 2 or 3 months after we moved in this house, we saw a van up the street drop him off and he came running down the street and started playing with the kids, and we've kept him since then. That was 2007. So he's old. He's 14 at least, because he was a few months old when they dropped him off. So yeah, he's not getting around too good tonight. He's struggling a little bit. Oh, Max. I really don't think it's going to be too much longer. But he's a good dog. He doesn't bark constantly or unnecessarily. He barks when, he used to howl whenever the fire trucks or something like that would come in the neighborhood or go down the street or be like a couple streets over. He would howl. Now it's like I don't think he can hear them well enough, to where it bothers him. And also, I don't think he can see as well as he used to either. Because it takes him a minute to recognize, like when I come home from work and stuff, it takes him a minute to recognize the car. Because before, it's like he could hear me coming from down the street, and he would be sitting right at that gate waiting for me before I even pulled up. Now it's like he's under here somewhere in the backyard or whatever. Moth trying to get on me. And then it would take him a minute. He would look like, wait a minute, I think that's Mama's car. Probably. And then when I say stuff to him loud enough that he can hear me, then he's like, his tail starts wagging and he starts walking towards me. But yeah, it takes him a while to realize who I am. Now, there's a neighbor that lives across the street from me, Mr. Joe. He has never liked that man. Never. He's never liked that man. Even to this day, because I think he tried to come over here the other day. And Max came out of nowhere. He came out from the bushes in the front yard, walking over real slow. And I didn't think he was going to say anything because, he's moving slow these days. He's acting like an old man. But no, he barked at him. Joe said, oh, he still don't like me. I was like, nope, he does not like you. And so far, it was him, and then there was this other guy that one of my nieces used to date. He didn't like him either. So there's only been 2 people that he just despised. And I knew right away, this person will never get in this yard as long as Max is alive. But, funny. I don't know what I'm going to do when he's gone. I thought about getting a Rottweiler, but see, I wouldn't keep it outside. Somebody would steal it. Thought about getting a Rottie. I've always wanted one. Either that or a Doberman. I used to be afraid of them because, you watch scary movies back in the 70s and the 80s and stuff, and they show them dogs as being evil dogs or mean dogs. So, but no, since I've been living out here, I'm like, you know what? I might get me a Rottweiler. They're like big babies, and people are intimidated by them. So that's the biggest I would get. Would be a Rottweiler. Go ahead and lay down, Max. He's just walking back and forth now. But what were we talking about? We were talking about relationships. Yeah. Not gonna go into my latest one. I can only say that there was a long time after me and this guy that I was seeing stopped seeing each other. And I think it was going on 2 years. Then the pandemic hit. It was going on a year, and the pandemic hit. So that added on another year. And the reason why we broke up is because he was married. He was going through a divorce. But no, he was going through a separation. He wasn't. At first, he tried to convince me that they were getting divorced. Well, lo and behold, he goes back to her. And do you know, I let that man do that 3 times. And on the 3rd time, I let him go. I told him that was absolutely it, that I was not going to take him back. the only way that I would take him back is if he was completely rid of her, completely divorced. He would have to show me some documentation signed by a judge, and it would have to be like months later, give himself time to heal. And come to find out, he did divorce her. But after he divorced her, that man never came looking for me. He never came over to apologize. He never came to say, hey, I was just checking to see how you were doing. Just want to let you know, that we got divorced, and, I was wondering if we could get back together. No, he never did that. And all those months I would think about him. I wonder if he's okay. I wonder what he's going through right now. I hope he's all right. And then finally, my intuition said, okay, stop wondering. Go ahead and check in on him. See what he's doing. So I sent him a message through Facebook, I think. Yeah, through Facebook. And he responded like almost right away. And we chatted back and forth. And so then finally he said, here, call me. Here's my number. I was like, okay. So then I called him and we talked. And then he was explaining to me what happened. He was sorry. He was afraid to come find me because he thought I was mad. And I'm like, okay, but if you care so much about me, that would have trumped your fear of me being upset with you. Yeah, no, you're probably right. No, I am right. But do you know, after I got back in touch with him, we talked for a few days. He did not once mention that he was seeing someone until I think we were talking, did I go see him or something? I can't remember. But it was like a few days went by, and he didn't even mention the fact that he was dating somebody. And then he brought it up. I was like, oh. I said, okay, so you got divorced and now you're seeing someone. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. It just kind of happened, I wasn't looking for it to happen, but it just kind of happened. And, I was like, oh, okay. And, I'm happy where I'm at. I was like, okay, well, good for you. So, yeah, so who you seeing? Are you seeing anybody right now? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Does that really matter if you're dating somebody? Well, I just want to know. Because, I do miss you and I miss being with you and all this other stuff. And then it started getting sexual. The conversation started getting sexual. We'll come to find out, old girl that he's with